What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pokemon Go. And pretty much what we're going to go ahead and discuss today is going to be our Dynamax Raids, which are going to be any pretty much raids that look like this right here, the one where the Chansey's at. And we're going to go ahead and click on it. And there's a couple things that you can go ahead and do before you actually jump in. First, there are particles that are flying around. I put my finger on the screen and it says my particles are full. But pretty much those little pink orbs flying around, you could go ahead and collect. And in order for you to go ahead and get these particles, you could either get them from going to the Dynamax Raids or by clicking on your toolbar right here, going to the power stop, and by claiming them by walking a certain amount of kilometers. Obviously, I am pretty much full on it, but let's go ahead and jump in and just get started. Also, traditionally, the maximum players that you could hold in a Dynamax is just going to be 4, and pretty much the ones that you already have that are on your lineup are going to be the only ones that you guys are able to take in, and you are able to pretty much invite up to 3 friends, as I did tell you guys. Pretty much there's only a total of 4 people that can play on here, which includes you too. I'm just going to invite to see if anyone wants to join in. And yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and get started. We do have a total of 3 trainers here. And pretty much this is going to be pretty easy to do. All you got to do is just pretty much press the screen like a traditional raid. And you got to go ahead and get that max meter on top full as quickly as you possibly can. What I would definitely recommend too is that if you are doing a level 1 raid, which only has like one of the, I guess you could say, the browser faces on it, it'll be easier for you to do by yourself. If you're doing a level 3, sometimes it's better to have 2 people with you. Or if you're above a certain level and you have overpowered Pokemon, then you should be able to do it on your own. But whenever it comes to a level 5 or higher, I would recommend having at least players that have good Pokemon. And also another thing to keep in mind too is that once you're going to go ahead and raid, sometimes you do have the ability to pick one Pokemon once the max meter gets full, and you're able to pretty much make it as big as the Pokemon you're fighting, and you do have the max moves on the bottom to pretty much assist you in taking it out. Another thing to note too is that there are sometimes some orbs that do spawn in, and those orbs do help fill up your max meter. So I would definitely recommend trying to get them as quickly as you possibly can to definitely fill it up. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys another thing. Some Pokemon do have special abilities, like you're going to see with my Vaporeon. There is some abilities to have a maximum shield. There is an ability to go ahead and heal your Pokemon, or the middle one to go ahead and attack. Pretty much when you go ahead and click the heal ability, it heals every Pokemon on the field. The shield pretty much gives you more shield, so if there is an attack coming from the boss, which is going to be the Chansey, it'll go ahead and defend you. You can put on a total of 3 shields per raid, or per attack I should say. Another thing too is that when you go ahead and come to one of these Pokestops and you finish attacking the raid boss, you could definitely go ahead and place a Pokemon there, so it could go ahead and gain some free candy for you. Also, as a standard raid, you do get the standard premium ball. You don't exactly get a regular ball unless if you find one of the Dynamax Pokemon by the Dynamax gym. So let me see if I could actually see it here, and if not, I'll try to explain it to you. Doesn't exactly seem like there's going to be one here. Usually on the bottom right hand side there will sometimes be, or it could be on the bottom left as well, there will sometimes be a question mark with like a grass spawn, and when you click on it there is a Pokemon that will spawn that will be Dynamax related. And sometimes the Pokemon that are down here that give off that little white circle will have a pink circle, and that's pretty much how you know it's a Dynamax. Another important thing to note too is that only your Dynamax Pokemon can fight other Dynamax Pokemon. And if you guys do pretty much fill up your bar right here, or if you can't collect any more particles, or if there's an event and you want to get more particles but it doesn't allow you to collect more, or doesn't allow you to walk, you can always purchase more at the shop right here. Just scroll down and pretty much it's going to say max particles packs. You go ahead and purchase a single one or the 30-pack one to go ahead and give you some more particles. And on top of that too, the max mushrooms are something that you guys could go ahead and use to pretty much make your Pokemon more stronger. So if you're fighting a level 3 and you don't really know if you could take it, pretty much you'd go ahead and use a max mushroom to go ahead and assist you with that. Also, another rumor that goes around is that the max mushroom works for every single person on your team if you use one. That's incorrect. The max mushroom only works for one player. It doesn't work for the entire team. Another thing to note as well is that if all three of your Pokemon do pretty much faint, you could go ahead and cheer on your teammates, and pretty much it's going to be the exact same as you were attacking. Just go ahead and just click that button, and once you get the cheer to the max, it'll automatically send a little particle up to go ahead and help you fill up that max meter. So definitely do not leave whenever all your Pokemon faint, because you could still win the battle even if there's only one person alive. Before I leave, I'm going to go ahead and show you the last thing, which is pretty much the extra things that the Dynamax Pokemon have, which I did explain a little bit earlier. So pretty much you do have, pretty much the first one right here, the max one is with the little water symbol is going to be your attack. Max guard is pretty much going to allow you to put shields on your Pokemon. And the max spirit is going to go ahead and allow you to heal your Pokemon. And pretty much if you want to go ahead and get those, you pretty much have to click on it, and you have to give a couple of max particles as well as some candy from that Pokemon. What I would go ahead and recommend to you guys is, if you guys don't exactly have a lot of max Pokemon, or you're currently struggling to actually put your Pokemon in the the Dynamax gyms, what I would recommend doing is try to get a Chansey. Even if it's a bad Chansey, I would recommend that you go ahead and just give that a max spirit, and give your max guard as well to your Chansey and make it a Blissey. But usually what you want to go ahead and do is you want to have your gym defender to have max spirit, so it could go ahead and tank the attacks and heal every Pokemon on the field, while your attackers will usually have the max guard. So just keep that in mind as well, guys. Anyways, as a little recap, let's just go ahead and go over everything that we went over. Pretty much your Dynamax are going to be looking like this. If it has an X on top, it means that it's currently not loaded. But if you see one on top, that means that you are able to go ahead and attack it. If you see any flying particles around the screen where the Pokemon's at, you can put your finger on it to go ahead and collect it, or just enter the lobby to go ahead and collect it off the bat. You are going to be able to get 800 max particles per day. And the other way you could go ahead and get it is by walking. And once you go ahead and walk a certain amount of kilometers, which I believe it's 2, you get 300 max particles. Another way to go ahead and purchase your max particles is by scrolling down in the shop and going right here where it says max particles. You could go ahead and purchase a single or the 3-pack and the max mushrooms, which I would definitely recommend if you are doing a community event where it is a legendary Pokemon and you're only allowed to have a total of 4 players in there. Usually when there are events, you are allowed to have about 100 players, but it just depends if it's a 6 raid or a 6 level raid boss. On top of that too, you are able to collect other Pokemon aside from the G max ones that are inside of the raid. Sometimes they will spawn around in like the little white circles around these Pokemon. It will have a pink circle. And sometimes when you go ahead and click on the bottom, it'll show on the bottom right or bottom left with a little question mark and pretty much grass in the background. You're going to go ahead and be able to collect a free Dynamax Pokemon. It'll just be randomized. And last but not least, if you want to go ahead and look at your Dynamax Pokemon, you can go ahead and add moves to them. Just keep in mind that the moves will cost a little bit of your candies as well as the max particles. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, take care, everybody.